A cop put a loaded gun to my head while my 8-year-old daughter screamed in the back seat. I felt the barrel press against my temple. My hands were on the steering wheel, shaking, not because I was guilty of anything, because my little girl was watching her daddy about to die. "Don't move," he yelled. I didn't. "Daddy," Sophie screamed behind me, pure terror in her voice, the kind of scream that still wakes me up at night 20 years later. I whispered the only words I could find. "Please, my daughter's in the car. Please don't do this." He didn't lower the gun. "Let me tell you how we got here. My name's Ray, 63 years old now. Back then I was 42. I'd been riding motorcycles since before I could legally drive one. Grew up in a small town in Southern Virginia. Blue-collar family. My daddy rode. His daddy rode. It was in our blood. But that particular evening, I wasn't even on my bike. I was driving my truck, a beat-up Ford F-150 with a cracked taillight. Sophie sat behind me in her booster seat, strawberry ice cream stain on her shirt, little purple backpack next to her. We'd just left her soccer practice. I was taking my daughter home. That's it. But here's what the cop saw when he pulled me over. He saw the leather vest on my passenger seat. He saw the tattoos crawling up both my arms. He saw the long beard. He saw a bumper sticker from my riding club on the tailgate. And he made up his mind about me before he ever reached my window. The blue lights hit my mirror on Route 15. I pulled over immediately. No hesitation. I even turned my dome light on because I know the drill. I've been pulled over enough times to know what bikers need to do to seem less threatening. Hands visible, engine off, no sudden moves. He walked up slow, flashlight sweeping across the cab. When the beam hit my vest and then my arms, I watched his posture change. His hand moved to his holster. "License and registration," he said, but the way he said it sounded like an accusation. I reached toward my glove box, slowly, told him exactly what I was doing. "Sir, I'm reaching for my registration. It's right in here." That's when everything went wrong. He ripped my door open, grabbed me by the collar, yanked me halfway out of the truck. My seatbelt caught my ribs so hard I thought they cracked. Sophie started crying instantly. He drew his weapon, pressed it to my skull, screamed at me to stop resisting. I wasn't resisting. I was dangling out of my own truck with a seatbelt crushing my chest. Daddy, what's happening?" That voice, God, that voice broke me in half. "It's okay, baby," I lied. "Close your eyes for Daddy." Another cruiser pulled up, then another. 3 cops now. They dragged me fully out of the truck and put me face down on the gravel, knee in my back, cuffs biting into my wrists. I could hear Sophie sobbing through the open door, hyperventilating. 8 years old and watching her father eat dirt on the side of the road. One officer searched my truck, tore through it like I was hiding something terrible, threw Sophie's backpack on the ground. Her little soccer cleats tumbled out onto the road. They found nothing, because there was nothing to find. No drugs, no weapons, not even an overdue parking ticket. I was a welder with a clean record who rode motorcycles on weekends. The original officer finally uncuffed me. You know what he said? "You matched a description." That's it. No apology, no explanation to my traumatized daughter. Just 5 empty words and a wave to send me on my way. I sat in that truck for 20 minutes before I could drive. Sophie climbed into the front seat and buried her face in my chest. Her whole body trembled against mine. She whispered something I'll carry to my grave. "Daddy, are you a bad guy?" My own child, asking me that because of what she just saw. I held her so tight, told her no, told her Daddy didn't do anything wrong. But how do you explain profiling to an 8-year-old? How do you rebuild what just shattered inside her? When I got home, I called my club. 12 brothers came over within the hour. They didn't come with anger. They came with food, calm voices, and a plan. One of them, Marcus, was a retired sheriff's deputy. He knew exactly what to do. He helped me file a formal complaint, pulled every legal thread he could find. Turned out that officer had 7 prior complaints. 7. All against bikers or guys who looked like they didn't belong in his version of polite society. Every single complaint had been buried. Mine wasn't going to be buried. Marcus connected me with a civil rights attorney, a woman named Janet, who took one look at the dash cam footage and said 3 words. "We got him." The dash cam showed everything. Me sitting still with my hands up. Sophie's screams on the audio. The officer escalating for no reason. A little girl's backpack thrown in the dirt like garbage. The case took 14 months. 14 long months where Sophie flinched every time she saw a police car. Where she'd panic if I left the house wearing my vest. Where she started sleeping in my bed because nightmares wouldn't leave her alone. The department settled. The officer was fired, but let me be honest with you, none of that healed my daughter. Therapy helped. Time helped more. And strangely enough, the club helped most of all. My brothers showed up for Sophie in ways I never expected. They came to her soccer games. Big bearded men in leather cheering for a tiny girl chasing a ball. They brought her birthday presents. They made her laugh on days when she couldn't stop shaking. She saw something powerful in that. She saw that men who looked exactly like the reason she was afraid were the same men keeping her safe. It rewired something inside her. Sophie is 28 now, a social worker. She helps families dealing with trauma from law enforcement encounters. She chose that path because of what happened on Route 15. And here's what kills me. People still cross the street when they see me coming. Store clerks still watch me a little too closely. Mothers still pull their kids a little closer. They see a threat every single time. They don't see the man who sat on cold gravel with his hands cuffed behind his back just for looking a certain way. They don't see the father who held his little girl and promised the world wasn't as cruel as it just showed her. They don't see the brothers who showed up with groceries and lawyers and love. They just see leather and ink and a long gray beard, and they judge. Sophie told me something last year that I think about every single day. She said, "Dad, the most dangerous man on that road wasn't the one in leather. He was the one wearing a badge. My daughter doesn't fear bikers. She married one."